Hello and welcome to the Ken Vercammen Law Office Legal Podcast. This edition we're looking at domestic violence cases and in particular a unreported appellate case of LH versus PH. In the domestic violence cases they use the initials. So the final restraining order was reversed where there was an insufficient record for the appeal court to evaluate all of the testimony. So the facts in this case are: defendant appealed the final restraining order entered in favor of his sister. The parties were adult siblings who had not resided together since 1985. But under the Domestic Violence Act, even if they haven't lived together for 40 years, they can still file. So the relationship became contentious following their father's death in 2020 due to disagreements over the father's estate. The defendant encountered plaintiff's husband in a store by chance, and the husband called plaintiff to come to the store where they all argued. The defendant alleged the sister and her husband hit him, chased him, and threatened to have him murdered. The plaintiff and defendant obtained temporary restraining orders. Two sisters obtained individual restraining orders against defendant regarding separate verbal allegations, also alleging harassment. The trial court found the plaintiff credible, defendant was not, and dismissed defendant's TRO and found a final restraining order was necessary to protect the plaintiff. The FRO included the plaintiff, her husband, the other two sisters, and a nephew. The appeal court here reversed and vacated the final restraining order. The appeal court found the trial court erred in failing to ensure an accurate interpretation of the record, and there was insufficient record for the court to evaluate all the testimony. The trial court's finding that defendant harassed plaintiff at the store was not supported by the record. Defendant's actions towards her brother-in-law could not establish the predicate act of harassment against the plaintiff's sister. The sister was not even in the store until her husband called her to come, and she never testified the defendant touched her. The trial court also did not provide sufficient findings of fact to support its decision to add additional protected parties to the final restraining order. And this is the case of LH versus PH. The docket number is A-0577-22. For more information on criminal and domestic violence cases, visit website njlaws.com. And for representation in criminal and domestic violence cases, contact Ken Vercammen's office in Edison at 732-572-0500. Thank you.